What if I told you that a bad condition $1 coin from the United States could be worth millions of dollars? In this video, we reveal 8 rare US $1 coins that look damaged, worn, or ordinary, but are actually hidden treasures that collectors are desperate to find. First up, the Andrew Johnson Presidential $1 coin 1867-1869 represents Andrew Johnson, the 17th President of the United States, whose presidency officially lasted from 1865 to 1869, with the years 1867 to 1869 marking the most dramatic, controversial, and constitutionally significant phase of his administration. And although the coin itself is a modern issue minted in 2011 as part of the United States Presidential $1 coin program, it symbolically commemorates Johnson's leadership during one of the most turbulent eras in American history, the Reconstruction period following the Civil War, when the nation struggled to redefine citizenship, civil rights, federal authority, and the reintegration of Southern states. Andrew Johnson was born in 1808 in North Carolina and rose from extreme poverty to national power, becoming a tailor by trade, a self-educated politician, and eventually vice president under Abraham Lincoln before assuming the presidency after Lincoln's assassination in April 1865, and by 1867, Johnson's presidency had reached a breaking point as conflicts with the radical Republicans in Congress intensified over Reconstruction policies, voting rights for formerly enslaved African Americans, and the balance of power between the executive and legislative branches. Johnson strongly opposed congressional Reconstruction measures such as the Reconstruction Acts, the Freedmen's Bureau expansion, and the 14th Amendment, vetoing numerous bills aimed at protecting civil rights, only to have his vetoes overridden by Congress, leading to a constitutional showdown that culminated in 1868, when Johnson became the first president in U.S. history to be impeached by the House of Representatives, primarily for violating the Tenure of Office Act by attempting to remove Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton without Senate approval. Although Johnson narrowly avoided removal from office by a single vote in the Senate, his political power was effectively destroyed, and by 1869, his presidency ended with the inauguration of Ulysses S. Grant, leaving behind a deeply divided nation and a legacy that remains heavily debated by historians. The Andrew Johnson Presidential $1 coin captures this complex legacy in numismatic form, featuring on its obverse a right-facing engraved portrait of Andrew Johnson with the inscriptions, Andrew Johnson, 17th President, and 1865-1869, which directly reference the years of his presidency, while the reverse displays the Statue of Liberty, a standard design used across the presidential $1 series, symbolizing freedom, unity, and democratic ideals that were profoundly tested during Johnson's time in office. The coin is composed of a manganese brass-clad alloy made primarily of copper with zinc, manganese, and nickel, giving it a golden appearance, measuring 26.5 millimeters in diameter and weighing 8.1 grams, with a smooth edge bearing inkest lettering that includes the year of minting, mint mark P. D. Rs. E pluribus unum, and In God We Trust, a distinctive feature that separates presidential $1 coins from most other U.S. circulating coinage. While the coin has a face value of $1, it was produced mainly for collectors rather than everyday circulation, reflecting modern changes in U.S. spending habits and the dominance of paper currency, and as a result, most Andrew Johnson presidential $1 coins remain in uncirculated condition, stored in rolls, mint sets, or individual capsules. From a collector's perspective, the coin's monetary value typically remains close to face value unless it is a proof strike from the San Francisco Mint, a high-grade uncirculated specimen, or an error coin with missing or doubled edge lettering, off-center strikes, or planchette defects, which can significantly increase desirability. Beyond its physical characteristics, The true importance of the Andrew Johnson presidential $1 coin lies in its educational and historical significance, as it serves as a compact, tangible reminder of a presidency defined by impeachment, constitutional crisis, racial conflict, and the unresolved consequences of the Civil War, encouraging collectors and historians alike to reflect on how leadership decisions made between 1867 and 1869 shaped the future of civil rights, federal governance, and American democracy, making this coin not merely a modern dollar but a symbolic bridge connecting present-day numismatics with one of the most contentious chapters in United States history. Next up, the Abraham Lincoln Presidential $1 coin 1861-1865 represents Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose presidency spanned from 1861 to 1865, a period that entirely encompassed the American Civil War, and although the user requested years 1861-1867 extend slightly beyond Lincoln's life and presidency, he was assassinated in 1865. They broadly reflect the historical era shaped by his leadership and the immediate aftermath of his policies. The coin itself is a modern commemorative issue released in 2010 as part of the United States Presidential $1 coin program, a series authorized by Congress to honor deceased U.S. presidents in the order they served, and it does not date back to the 19th century but symbolically commemorates Lincoln's enduring legacy during one of the most defining moments in American history. Abraham Lincoln was born in 1809 in Kentucky, rose from humble frontier beginnings, largely self-educated, and became a lawyer, legislator, and national political figure whose election in 1860 directly triggered the secession of Southern states, leading to the outbreak of the Civil War in 1861, and during his presidency he focused relentlessly on preserving the Union, believing that the survival of the United States as a single nation was essential to the future of democracy worldwide. Between 1861 and 1865, Lincoln navigated unprecedented constitutional, military, and moral challenges, expanding federal authority, suspending habeas corpus in limited cases, managing fractious political factions, and appointing and replacing generals until the Union Army achieved decisive victories, most notably under Ulysses S. Grant. One of Lincoln's most transformative actions was the issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, which declared freedom for enslaved people in Confederate-held territories and fundamentally redefined the Civil War as a struggle not only for Union but also for human freedom, laying the groundwork for the eventual abolition of slavery nationwide through the 13th Amendment, which was passed by Congress shortly before Lincoln's death. Lincoln's presidency ended tragically with his assassination in April 1865, making him the first U.S. president to be assassinated, and his death shocked the nation, turning him into a martyr figure whose moral authority and vision deeply influenced Reconstruction debates that continued through 1867 and beyond. Even though he did not live to guide that process himself, the Abraham Lincoln Presidential $1 coin captures this monumental legacy in a compact numismatic form, with the obverse featuring a detailed, front-facing engraved portrait of Lincoln that reflects his distinctive facial features, beard, and solemn expression, surrounded by the inscriptions, Abraham Lincoln, 16th President, and 1861-1865, clearly marking his place in presidential history, while the reverse displays the Statue of Liberty, a unified design used across the presidential $1 coin series, symbolizing freedom, unity, and democratic ideals that Lincoln fought to preserve. The coin is struck in a manganese brass-clad composition consisting primarily of copper with zinc, manganese, and nickel, giving it a golden color, with a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, a weight of 8.1 grams, and a smooth edge that carries inkest lettering, including the year of minting, the mint mark P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco for proof versions, and the mottos, E pluribus unum, and In God We Trust, a distinctive feature that sets these coins apart from most other U.S. circulating coins. Although it has a face value of $1, the Abraham Lincoln Presidential $1 coin was produced mainly for collectors rather than everyday circulation, reflecting modern spending habits and the preference for paper currency, and as a result, many examples remain in uncirculated condition within rolls, mint sets, or protective holders. From a collector's standpoint, most circulated or uncirculated examples trade close to face value, while proof coins from the San Francisco Mint and high-grade specimens can command modest premiums, and coins exhibiting mint errors such as missing edge lettering, doubled inscriptions, or striking anomalies may be worth significantly more depending on rarity and condition. Beyond monetary considerations, the Abraham Lincoln Presidential $1 coin holds immense historical, educational, and symbolic value, serving as a tangible reminder of leadership under crisis, the struggle to preserve a nation divided by civil war, and the enduring fight for freedom and equality, making it not merely a modern dollar coin but a powerful historical artifact that connects present-day collectors to the profound events of 1861 through the Reconstruction era that followed, a time when the course of American history was permanently altered by Abraham Lincoln's vision, sacrifice, and legacy. Next up, the William Henry Harrison Presidential $1 coin 1841 commemorates William Henry Harrison, the 9th President of the United States, whose presidency is historically unique and deeply significant despite being the shortest in American history, lasting only 31 days in 1841, and although the coin itself is a modern issue released in 2009 as part of the United States Presidential $1 coin program, it symbolically honors Harrison's brief but memorable term and the era in which he served. William Henry Harrison was born in 1773 into a prominent Virginia family, pursued a military career, and rose to national fame as a frontier general, most notably for his victory at the Battle of Tippecanoe in 1811, which earned him the nickname, Old Tippecanoe, a title later immortalized in the famous campaign slogan, Tippecanoe and Tyler too, used during the 1840 presidential election that brought him to the White House. Harrison's election represented a major shift in American politics, marking the first time a president was chosen largely through mass campaigning, political rallies, slogans, and imagery aimed at ordinary voters, setting lasting precedents for modern electoral politics. In March 1841, Harrison delivered the longest inaugural address in U.S. history on a cold, rainy day without adequate protective clothing, an event traditionally believed to have contributed to the illness that led to his death just 1 month later. Though modern historians debate the exact medical causes, his sudden death created an unprecedented constitutional crisis, as the nation had never before faced the loss of a sitting president, leading Vice President John Tyler to assume full presidential powers, thereby establishing a critical constitutional precedent for presidential succession that continues to shape American governance today. The William Henry Harrison Presidential $1 coin captures this remarkable historical moment through its design and symbolism, featuring on the obverse a detailed engraved portrait of Harrison with the inscriptions, William Henry Harrison, 9th President, and 1841, clearly identifying both his office and the year of his presidency, while the reverse displays the Statue of Liberty, a standard design used across the presidential $1 coin series to represent freedom, democracy, and the enduring ideals of the United States. The coin is struck in a distinctive manganese brass-clad composition, primarily copper combined with zinc, manganese, and nickel, giving it a golden appearance, with a diameter of 26.5 millimeters, a weight of 8.1 grams, and a smooth edge featuring inkest lettering that includes the year of minting, mint mark P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco proof issues, along with the national mottos, E pluribus unum, and In God We Trust, a design element unique to this coin series. Although the coin carries a face value of $1, it was minted primarily for collectors rather than for widespread circulation, reflecting modern spending habits and the limited use of dollar coins in everyday commerce, and as a result, many examples remain in uncirculated condition. From a numismatic perspective, most William Henry Harrison presidential $1 coins are valued close to their face value, while proof versions, high-grade uncirculated specimens, and coins with notable minting errors, such as missing edge lettering, doubled inscriptions, or striking anomalies, can command higher prices in the collector market. Beyond its monetary value, the coin holds deep historical and educational significance, serving as a compact, tangible reminder of the fragility of political leadership, the importance of constitutional clarity, and the unexpected ways in which even the briefest presidency can leave a lasting impact on a nation's political system, making the William Henry Harrison presidential $1 coin not merely a modern dollar coin, but a powerful symbol of an extraordinary moment in American history when tradition, tragedy, and constitutional evolution converged in the year 1841. The phrase, $1 United States of America, 1817–1825, refers not to a single modern coin issue, but to a historical era of U.S. money during the presidency of James Monroe, the fifth President of the United States, whose 2 terms ran from 1817 to 1825, a period famously known as the era of good feelings. And understanding the $1 money of this time requires looking at early American coinage, silver standards, and how money functioned in the young republic rather than imagining a modern-style $1 coin like those produced today. During the years 1817–1825, the United States did not regularly mint a circulating silver $1 coin dated in those exact years, because the classic flowing hair dollar 1794–1795 and draped bust dollar 1795–1804 had already ceased production, and the next official silver dollar, the Gobrecht dollar, would not appear until 1836, meaning that during Monroe's presidency, the U.S. dollar existed primarily as a unit of account defined by silver content rather than as a widely circulating coin. At that time, the dollar was legally defined by the Coinage Act of 1792, which established the U.S. dollar as containing 371.25 grains of pure silver, anchoring the American monetary system to precious metal value. And in daily life, Americans often used a mixture of foreign silver coins, especially Spanish silver dollars pieces of 8 alongside U.S. half dollars, quarter dollars, and bank-issued paper notes, all of which were commonly referred to in dollars for accounting purposes. Between 1817 and 1825, the United States was recovering economically from the War of 1812, which had severely disrupted trade, banking, and coin circulation, leading to a shortage of hard money, and as a result, silver dollars, whether American or foreign, were hoarded, exported, or melted for bullion, making them rare in everyday transactions. James Monroe's presidency oversaw a significant stabilization of the nation's finances, including the strengthening of the Second Bank of the United States, which played a major role in regulating currency, issuing banknotes redeemable in specie gold or silver, and restoring public confidence in the dollar as a reliable measure of value. In terms of design and symbolism, although no official U.S. silver dollar was struck during these exact years, the imagery associated with the dollar in this era was inherited from earlier coinage, particularly the draped bust design created by artist Gilbert Stuart, which featured liberty with flowing hair on the obverse and a heraldic eagle on the reverse, representing national independence, strength, and Republican ideals in the post-revolutionary United States. Economically, $1 US during 1817–1825 had enormous purchasing power compared to today, roughly equivalent to $20, $25 or more in modern terms, meaning it could pay for a full day's labor, several pounds of food, or basic household necessities, reinforcing the idea that the dollar was a serious unit of wealth rather than small change. Historically, this era shaped the long-term importance of the dollar as a symbol of national unity, particularly as Monroe promoted internal improvements, westward expansion, and a foreign policy that would culminate in the Monroe Doctrine of 1823, asserting American influence and independence from European colonial powers, all of which strengthened confidence in U.S. institutions and its monetary system. For collectors and historians today, $1 of the United States, 1817-1825, represents a transitional phase in American numismatics, when the dollar existed more as a concept backed by silver and trust in government than as a commonly seen coin, and artifacts from this period, such as Spanish silver dollars circulated in the U.S. Early banknotes denominated in dollars, and surviving draped bust silver dollars, are highly valuable, often selling for tens of thousands to millions of dollars depending on rarity and condition. In modern coin collecting and educational content, this period is especially important because it highlights how the U.S. dollar evolved from a fragile post-war monetary unit into a stable national currency, making the years 1817 to 1825 a foundational chapter in the story of the American dollar, even without a specific circulating $1 coin dated to those exact years, in reinforcing the fact that the power and value of the U.S. dollar have always been rooted as much in history, policy, and public trust as in metal itself. Next up, the $1 United States of America 1877-1881 refers to a period of early American silver dollar coinage during the late 19th century, specifically within the era of the trade dollar 1873-1885, and the lingering circulation of the Morgan silver dollar introduced in 1878, a critical period in U.S. numismatic and economic history when the country was experiencing rapid industrialization, expanding trade with Asia, and stabilizing its national currency after the financial panics of the 1870s. Although $1 coins existed in several forms, the years 1877 to 1881 saw the circulation of primarily silver dollars intended both for domestic commerce and international trade, particularly with China and other Asian markets, where silver coinage was the standard for trade, and this period coincided with significant changes in silver legislation, monetary policy, and coin design, including the introduction of the Morgan silver dollar in 1878, designed by George T. Morgan, which featured a left-facing portrait of Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap on the obverse and a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch on the reverse, symbolizing freedom, vigilance, and peace. The trade dollar, authorized in 1873, had been created to compete with foreign silver coins in Asia, weighing 420 grains of 90% silver, slightly heavier than the standard U.S. silver dollar of earlier decades, and was used almost exclusively in trade with China, often exported rather than circulating domestically, though some eventually entered American commerce, leading to legal and monetary complications that Congress addressed in subsequent legislation. During 1877-1881, silver coinage was closely tied to the Bland-Allison Act of 1878, which mandated the U.S. Treasury to purchase large amounts of silver and mint them into silver dollars, including Morgan dollars, in order to support Western silver mining interests, increase money supply, and stabilize the economy after the Panic of 1873, which had triggered severe deflation and economic hardship. Coins from this period, including trade dollars and Morgan dollars dated 1877-1881, were struck at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia, No Mint Mark, Carson City, CC, New Orleans, O, and San Francisco, S, with varying mintages, survival rates, and collector desirability, making certain dates and mint marks extremely rare and valuable today, particularly the 1879 cc Morgan dollar, 1881 cc, and low mintage Philadelphia issues, which are highly sought after by numismatists. The physical characteristics of these silver dollars included a 90% silver and 10% copper alloy, a diameter of approximately 38.1 millimeters, and a weight of 26.73 grams, with reeded edges designed to prevent clipping, and the artistry of George T. Morgan combined neoclassical symbolism with realism, making these coins iconic representations of 19th-century American coinage and highly recognizable in modern collections. During this period, the economic, political, and social context deeply influenced the coinage. The U.S. was undergoing reconstruction of financial systems post-Civil War. Western territories were being developed, railroads were expanding, and the silver standard became a major point of political contention between farmers, miners, and bankers, leading to debates that would culminate in the free silver movement of the 1890s, and coins minted in 1877–1881 are tangible artifacts of this larger story, reflecting both domestic monetary policy and international commerce. Despite being over 140 years old, many surviving silver dollars from 1877–1881 remain in circulated, worn condition, often exhibiting scratches, rim nicks, or surface toning, while rare high-grade uncirculated examples, proofs, are coins with mint errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned planchettes can fetch hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars depending on rarity, provenance, and condition, making these coins not only historical artifacts but also major investment pieces for collectors worldwide. Today, the $1 United States of America 1877–1881 represents a pivotal chapter in American monetary history, bridging the post-Civil War economic recovery, the rise of industrialization, the western expansion of the United States, the internationalization of American silver coinage, and the evolving artistry and technical achievement of U.S. mint designers, ensuring that these coins remain among the most studied, admired, and valuable pieces in numismatic collections, both for their historical significance and for their enduring aesthetic and financial value in modern times. Next up, the $1 United States of America 1857–1861 refers to the period in U.S. coinage history marked by significant economic, political, and numismatic developments, encompassing the final years of the seated Liberty Dollar series, which was the primary silver dollar in circulation at the time, and coinciding with a turbulent pre-Civil War era when the United States was grappling with sectional tensions, debates over slavery, and the expansion of westward territories, all of which influenced monetary policy, coin production, and the role of the dollar in everyday commerce. The seated Liberty Dollar, originally designed by Christian Gobrecht in 1836, featured the allegorical figure of Liberty seated on a rock holding a shield and a pole with a Phrygian cap on the obverse, symbolizing freedom, vigilance, and the protective power of the nation, while the reverse displayed an eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, emblematic of the balance between military strength and peace, a design consistent throughout the series with slight modifications to date, stars, and legend placement over the years. During the years 1857–1861, the United States Mint at Philadelphia struck these coins in response to both domestic circulation needs and economic pressures, producing them in 90% silver and 10% copper, with a standard weight of 26.73 grams and a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, maintaining a reeded edge to prevent clipping and counterfeiting, and despite the official minting, coins were often in short supply in everyday commerce due to hoarding, international trade, and the influx of foreign silver coins such as Spanish dollars, which were still widely recognized and used in trade. Economically, this period coincided with the aftermath of the Panic of 1857, a significant financial crisis triggered by bank failures, over-speculation in railroads, and declining international trade, which caused deflation, unemployment, and a scarcity of specie. thereby increasing the demand for reliable U.S. silver coinage and heightening public interest in tangible monetary assets such as the $1 silver coins. Politically, the years leading up to 1861 were characterized by intense national divisions over slavery and states' rights, culminating in the secession of Southern states and the outbreak of the Civil War, events that impacted coin circulation, production priorities, and the preservation of mint facilities, as the U.S. government sought to maintain public confidence in the dollar while preparing for the economic strains of war. From a numismatic perspective, 1857–1861 seeded Liberty dollars are particularly significant because they represent the final issues of the series before the introduction of the trade dollar, 1873, and later the Morgan dollar, 1878, and coins from this period often exhibit unique characteristics, including minting variations, die cracks, repunch dates, and edge modifications, which make certain specimens highly desirable to collectors, especially those in uncirculated or proof condition. The $1 coins of 1857–1861 also provide valuable historical insight, as they were used by ordinary citizens for trade, wages, and savings, giving them a tangible connection to everyday life in mid-19th century America, while surviving examples today allow historians and numismatists to study the evolution of coin design, metallurgy, and minting technology, reflecting broader economic trends in the maturation of the U.S. Mint. The seeded Liberty dollar of these years is also emblematic of American resilience and continuity, representing a stable national currency at a time of growing sectional conflict, facilitating commerce across expanding territories, and serving as a medium for savings, trade, and legal tender in both domestic and international transactions. While many of these coins circulated heavily and show signs of wear, scratches, and toning, pristine examples, rare mint marks, and specimens with historical provenance can command significant premiums, often selling for tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on condition, rarity, and collector demand, making them both historically invaluable and financially significant. Ultimately, the $1 United States of America 1857–1861 embodies a pivotal era in American history, bridging the end of antebellum economic expansion, the evolution of U.S. silver coinage, and the onset of civil conflict, preserving both artistic and monetary legacy, and remaining a treasured artifact for historians, collectors, and anyone seeking a tangible connection to the complex political, economic, and social landscape of pre-Civil War America, ensuring that these coins remain among the most studied, admired, and valuable in the numismatic world, not only for their silver content but for the rich historical narrative they carry from the years immediately preceding the nation's greatest internal struggle. Next up, the $1 United States of America 1825 refers to a critical period in early American coinage history during the late Drake bust and early cap bust and coinage era, a time when the United States was solidifying its national identity, and coinage system following the tumultuous post-revolutionary and early federal period, and although exact $1 coins from 1825 were relatively rare, they are emblematic of the development of American silver dollars, representing both the practical currency needs of the growing nation and the artistry, technology, and policies of the United States Mint, which by this time was increasingly standardized under federal law. These years fall under the broader cap bust dollar originally designed by John Reich in 1807 and later modified by chief engraver William Nias, featuring Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap secured by symbolizing freedom and Republican ideals, with her bust facing left on the obverse, surrounded by stars representing the stars representing the states of the Union and the inscription, while the reverse prominently displays a heraldic eagle with a heraldic eagle holding arrows in an olive branch, symbolizing the balance between military strength and peace. United States of America, and the denomination, $1 clearly inscribed. During 1825, the United States was experiencing the presidency of John Quincy Adams, 1825-1829, an era marked by internal expansion of transportation networks such as roads and canals, the beginnings of industrialization, and political development, leading to the rise of Andrew Jackson and the era of Jacksonian democracy, all of which influenced the circulation and significance of U.S. coinage, including silver dollars, as these coins were not merely medium of exchange but also symbols of national unity and federal authority. Economically, a silver dollar was a major form of defined under the Coinage Act of 1792 containing 1.25 grains of pure silver, which made it a high-value coin capable of purchasing wages, and serving as a standard for trade both domestically and internationally, with Spanish silver dollars often still circulating, influencing both public perception and mint policy. Minting during these years was carried out primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, as it was the central production facility for U.S. coins, and although production numbers were limited compared to modern mintages, surviving examples of 1829 dollars are highly prized by collectors due to their historical importance and rarity, with many coins today displaying signs of circulation such as wear, toning, scratches, and rim dents. While exceptional specimens in uncirculated condition, with clear dates and sharp strikes, can command significant value, often reaching tens of thousands or more depending on condition and from a numismatic perspective. The 1825-1829 dollars often feature interesting varieties and die differences, including variations in stars, and differences in the eagle's design on the reverse, which further enhance their desirability for collectors and historians, as these features provide insight into early minting challenges of production, and the meticulous attention to design and symbolism that characterized early U.S. coinage. Socially and culturally, these coins were part of everyday life in a rapidly expanding United States, circulating in urban frontier settlements, and international trade, often hoarded or exchanged with foreign coins, and they reflect broader economic trends such as westward expansion, the growth of commercial markets, and the importance reliable national currency during a time when state bank issues were common but often unstable. The $1 United States of America 1825 coins are also historically because they connect modern collectors to the early 19th century, providing tangible links to figures such as John Quincy Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Madison, and embodying ideals of national identity, national maturation of American institutions. These coins are studied for their metallurgy, as their 90% silver and 10% copper composition reflects both the technological capabilities and economic considerations of the U.S. Mint at the time, ensuring durability while maintaining intrinsic value. Many surviving examples today exhibit patina that adds aesthetic appeal. The 1825-1829 $1 coins far more than they are historical artifacts, connecting collectors and historians to the formative years of the United States, the economic and political development of the Adams administration, and the evolution of American coinage design and circulation, making them invaluable not only for their silver historical narrative and national heritage, ensuring that these coins remain among the most admired and treasured in the world of numismatics and historical preservation. Next the $1 United States of America, 1853-1857, represents a significant and fascinating period in American coinage history, set during the mid-19th century, when the United States was experiencing dramatic economic, political, and social changes that directly influenced the production, design, and circulation of silver coinage. And although exact $1 coins dated 1853 to 1857 are rare and highly collectible today, they are closely associated with the seated Liberty Dollar series, which was the dominant silver dollar coinage of the period, reflecting both national identity and monetary stability at a time when the United States was rapidly expanding westward, developing its banking system, and navigating international trade. The seated Liberty Dollar, originally designed by Christian Gobrecht in 1836, depicted the allegorical figure of Liberty seated on a rock, holding a shield in her right hand and a pole with a Phrygian cap in her left, symbolizing freedom, vigilance, and the defense of the Republic, while the reverse featured a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, representing the balance between military strength and peace, all framed by the inscriptions, United States of America, and $1, which clearly indicated both national authority and monetary value. During 1853-1857, this series saw minor design modifications and the introduction of weight-reduced silver coins for denominations under $1, reflecting economic pressures such as fluctuating silver prices, the increasing use of banknotes, and the need to prevent coin hoarding or exportation of U.S. specie, while the $1 coins maintained their traditional weight of 26.73 grams in a composition of 90% silver and 10% copper, with a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, and a reeded edge to prevent clipping and counterfeiting. Politically and socially, this period coincided with the presidency of Franklin Pierce, 1853-1857, a time when the United States faced growing sectional tensions over slavery, debates over westward expansion, and the early stirrings of what would become the Civil War, and coinage played an essential role in daily life, facilitating commerce, trade, and savings at a time when paper currency was issued unevenly by state banks and not always trusted, making silver dollars one of the most reliable and universally recognized forms of wealth. Economically, the seated Liberty Dollar during these years functioned as both domestic currency and a medium of international trade, particularly in the Americas and Asia, where silver coins were widely accepted, and the stability of the coin's silver content provided confidence for merchants, investors, and ordinary citizens, while the relatively low mintage of certain years and mint marks during 1853-1857, such as the New Orleans Mint O and Philadelphia Mint No mint mark, has made surviving examples today extremely valuable to collectors, historians, and numismatists, particularly when in uncirculated condition, proof, or featuring mint errors like double dies, misaligned planchettes, or off-center strikes. From a technical perspective, these coins illustrate the skill and craftsmanship of the United States Mint during a period of significant technological advancement, as dies were hand-engraved and struck with screw presses, resulting in subtle variations between issues that are now studied in detail by modern collectors and historians to understand early American minting practices, die wear, and the evolution of coin artistry. Historically, the $1 coins of 1853-1857 also serve as tangible artifacts connecting modern observers to the daily lives of Americans in a transformative era, reflecting both the growth of urban centers and frontier settlements. The use of coins in commercial transactions such as purchasing goods, paying wages, and facilitating trade, as well as the role of currency in building public trust in the federal government and its financial policies. Moreover, surviving coins from this period often show signs of circulation such as scratches, rim nicks, toning, or wear, which tell the story of their practical use. while coins that have been preserved in mint condition or as proofs are considered museum-quality artifacts that command significant premiums in the numismatic market, sometimes selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on rarity, provenance, and condition. In a broader historical context, the seated Liberty dollar of 1853-1857 embodies the tension between economic stability and political unrest, representing a nation on the verge of monumental change, while also highlighting the craftsmanship, artistry, and scientific precision achieved by the United States Mint, and its enduring legacy is reflected in its influence on later coinage designs, the study of early American silver coinage, and the continued fascination of collectors and historians who value the seated Liberty dollars not only for their silver content but also for their symbolic and educational significance, as they capture a snapshot of American life, commerce, politics, and artistry during a pivotal mid-19th century period that set the stage for the dramatic events leading to the Civil War and the evolution of the United States dollar as both a national and global standard of value, making the $1 United States of America, 1853-1857, not merely a coin but a historical treasure that connects modern audiences to the social, economic, and political fabric of antebellum America and preserves the enduring story of liberty, national identity, and monetary development. Please like and subscribe to my channel.